Hello and welcome back to the BOSStimator. Ryan Frick, your personal trainer. Let's get right into our tutorial, and this one's going to be one of many talking about estimates and how to set up your estimates and do your estimates. But this one's going to get you just basically to set it up. Let's get right into an estimate. Let's get into the estimate default screen and get right into one of the ones that we've created in the past. On the previous tutorials, we talked about all these items, items, units, categories, parameters, items, and tasks. Assemblies, packages, and templates are add-on components to the BOSStimator. They'll make your life a lot easier, but they're not necessary to use the system and have it be able to create active and accurate estimates. So let's get right into the bathroom scope reduction project. What you're looking at is the main screen for the estimates. You'll notice and become very familiar with all the operations because you'll be living here quite a bit. And you can always tell the name of the screen you're on by up at the top and also at the upper left hand corner. On the top of the estimate, it'll tell you that you're in the bathroom scope reduction estimate. The client is Jack Boss, and the project is the Boss Bathroom, and the client is Jack Boss. So just want to make sure that every time you open estimates, you're in the right one. It's pretty difficult when you start working in one and you come back and you accidentally click on the wrong one, and by Lord, you're in the wrong estimate. Not that big a deal. You got to delete some and add some more in another one, but let's get it right from the beginning. So just make sure you check that to make sure you're in the right one. And if you're not, let's say you pressed the wrong one, it's not that big a deal. You can come right back to the default estimating screen and just click the right one. It'll automatically refresh all of these and bring you to the one that you should have been on to begin with. And as you can see, this one's now the bathroom estimate instead of the bathroom estimate scope reduction. So you can flip through it that easy. If you want to go back and forth between two of them for the same project, instead of going all the way back here, it's just easy just to close this one, go right to the projects, go to the estimate, and then click on the other one that you wanted, because all these are refreshed according to what you push on the previous one. So again, we're looking at the estimate, the main estimating screen here, and everything in the BOSStimator is tied together with what's called ID fields. And what to do is that allows the computer to make sure that things are the tasks, that items are connected to the tasks are connected to the assemblies, and all the packages and templates are all connected together, and they're all connected to this one estimate. And you'll notice that we're on ID 3, and we'll talk more about the importance of that in the future. But we'll let me walk you through what you're looking at. You're very familiar with what items were. We talked about items in the past in detail on a previous tutorial, and they are the basic building blocks of the construction industry. We add items together to build tasks. And so those two right there combined together will give you every estimate that you ever want. Now, if you wanted to make it more sophisticated and say I wanted to combine 5 or 6 or 7 or 20 tasks together in one grouping, that's called an assembly. And let's say for example you wanted to put in a you have a task created as installing a plate. Bottom plate. You have another task for installing the studs, and another task for a top plate, and another task for the OSB and vinyl siding together, and you have another one for insulation, drywall, paint, and trim together. So those are all different tasks. Assembly would say, okay, you can calculate that by one running foot. So that what you do is you just add them together and link them all together under one heading. So that way you can use that same plate in a 2x4x10 wall, a 2x4x6 wall, a 2x4x12 wall. The plate's the same. So you don't have to recreate that for every single task. It's already completed. You just add it together and make it. If you don't have the assembly module, you have to recreate that and put that together under the task. It just takes a little bit more time to do that. Packages groups the assemblies together, so you can say I want to build this wall and this wall, that interior wall and that exterior wall together by giving you the running footages, and maybe even the floor package put together with that And templates are saying I want to go ahead and make a template for a whole bathroom remodel and gut, and it'll ask you the questions, what you got to do, and then take you to figure out what parts and pieces we need to pull together, and then give you an accurate estimate from there. So that's the items, the components that you're looking at up here at the top. On the left hand side of the screen, you're going to notice some more. The buttons are down here at the bottom. Blue buttons is to print. So this is after you get your estimate to where you want. You want to click this, and this will take you to the printing of the information that you have. The BOSSitizer is another add-on for the BOSStimator, and what that does is when you're in here and you created your scope of work by determining your elements that are going to be part of it, then you want to BOSSitize it. And what that does is that you can import a set of plans, and you say, okay, this is the set of plans that I'm working off of. Now I want to select and do the exterior walls. So instead of taking your roller scale out or your ruler out to determine what that wall length is, basically you don't have to. You import the set of plans. I don't know if I have this one active, and it's not active on this module, on this system right now, but you can bring the plan in here, then you can say I want a measurement from here to here to here to here, around this radius from here to here to here, and press connect. And basically what it will do, it'll go through there, calculate the running footage of it, and then you just linking it to the parts and pieces. And it's really slick, and I advise taking a look at some of the sales tutorials on the BOSSitizer and see if you're interested in something like that. Multiple tasks, and we'll get into this one here in a few minutes, but right now it's easy to add one task at a time, and you can go through here and select your tasks that you want to be part of this estimate, and just go down one at a time and select it and keep on going all the way through it. That's fine, but if you got a whole bunch of tasks that you want to select together, it's easier to go and use the multiple task link, and that'll take you back to the main screen, the default screen, and basically it'll say, okay, it'll bring you back to, let me show you what it will do. And what that's saying, hey, this is going to be a future improvement, and it's real shortly to come, so I'll be checking on that shortly. But for right now, what it tells you to do is come back to here, go to the tasks, and you'll notice in here, let me go over to the right, I'm going to reduce this couple of these conversion factors and stuff like that. But what you'll see is that you have all the tasks, and it's easy to sort them here because we discussed how to sort tasks. But let's say I'm gonna quickly, I want the task and transfer task to be closer to the front so we can see it on this. On my monitor, it all fits on one screen, and so I don't know the size of it, so it'll make it to the size of the screen that you want. But if it doesn't show up, you probably want to pull those two items, which is transfer and transfer quantity, closer to the left so that you can see it all at the same time. But multiple tasks is, let's say I wanted to do wall framing and wall framing, and these are the components. These are all the tasks for wall framing. So I say I know I want to build a wall. I need some extra 2x6 studs. I need some 2x4 studs. So you're basically just going here and you're selecting what the components that you want to incorporate in this estimate. And then you can come over here to the left and say, okay, of that one, you can either pre-fill it in and say I want 25 of these. I need a 52 foot of that. I need 60 foot of that, so on and so forth. And these here, I say I'm going to determine later on. You're selecting those tasks, and now you want to put them into the estimate that you have active back here. So you just want to select the estimate that you want to throw those into, and it only pulls up the active estimate list. So that was the bathroom scope reduction, and then you want to transfer it. And now it takes you back to the bathroom scope reduction, and all those tasks that you selected are now in here with the quantities. So you can add multiple tasks to your estimate really quick and sort it out really nice, and you're using the same information that you used before. Okay, so we've got the multiple tasks. Air check is when you're getting ready to produce the reports, and it does it. Air check runs individually, so you can click this and it can check for errors. Or when you print the reports, air check runs as well. But what it does is it goes through your entire estimate and say, okay, these are some possible errors that we've determined. it would say that these items don't have any quantities. You have them in the estimate. Are you sure you don't want to have quantities? Well, that's a possible error. There was a reason you had them there. It would tell you there. Or let's say, for example, you went into one of these, and right now you have, oh, there we go. We got some of these items that needed to be determined for costs. Well, not a big deal. But when you run the error check, it would say, hey, you have the equipment type under the headers with no cost. You want to verify that before you produce the estimate. So it kind of goes through and tells you, helps you look at things that you don't possibly see when you're producing it, because there's a lot of stuff that you're generating here. So it's a little cheater. Project add-ons. Add-ons are the components of an estimate that don't fit into tasks. And when I say that, you can create a task for anything, but these items are always going to show up, or for the most part going to show up on your reports. Add-ons, I clicked on the add-on link. Add-ons are the components that you want to possibly hide, like overhead. And let's say you wanted that at 25%, and we'll get into more detail on this later in. Profit, and that's a fixed fee. Let's say what else we got. Maybe travel time, because it's a remote location, and that's 10% of only the labor. And then you basically press close, and then what happens is that it will take your information and import it down, and when you start doing your estimates, it will connect it all back together. But so that's what the project add-ons. And then the project photos is a link that we're still creating yet. We don't want to overload the system with a lot of photos, because it adds up a lot of memory real quick, especially depending on the level. We're probably going to have this one opening and available soon. That'll be available through the internet, so you're basically saving the stuff in a remote location, so not using up your hard drive space. But check back soon and you'll understand that. The other items that you'll see up here is we got default areas, jobs, and options. And what this does is, as you're creating an estimate, you want to be able to organize your task in such a way that you can quickly sort through it. We've done the categories, which is a sort in itself. We got the task, which is in essence a sort in itself. But let's say we wanted to working in areas, and we wanted to create one. So if you wanted to create an area, and like I said, we'll get into really details and work some estimates that we use this. But if you wanted to create an area, let's say we're going to do all these items. I'm going to delete these. And you can see that it's saying, hey, we're deleting them, and that's fine. This is just to help you get started here. But let's say we wanted to create in the bathroom, and this is the tub area. Okay, and you know what? We're going to do demo. That's the job. A job is what you're going to be doing in that area. So if you want to sort it, if you want to be able to classify your scopes of work by tub demo, or this one's a small bathroom remodel, or but let's say, for example, that you are doing a whole house estimate, and the area that you're going to be working in is the master bathroom, but you want to, and then you're going to do the floors. So what you can do is you can create it by areas. So you do all your estimates in the bath, floors, walls, ceilings, so on and so forth. So you can, or floors, or like the finishes on the floors, finishes on the walls, the bathroom, and then all of a sudden you go on into the kitchen, you'll have floors there as well. So if you wanted later on, as you're doing your estimate and you start going through it, you say, you know what, I want to see all the floor scope of work. Well, you have the different areas classified, so you want to see it by just floor. Then you can filter it just by the job and look at just floors, and only the floor cost would show up, and it would only calculate just for the floor. But it's a slick little way of helping you additionally sort your information. Options are, let's say you wanted an option package for the Windows. So you could create an option package for Windows. And then you notice that as soon as you do that, there'll be another drop down thing that comes up, and it says this is the main scope or main breakdown. Main scope is the one that's included in the estimate, so you would do your estimates for that. And let's say, okay, now we wanted vinyl instead of wood. Now you start estimating, and now you can break those costs down by the options, and you could sort it. And what you're seeing right here, we'll scroll over so you can see that every task that you put in now is going to be tub, area, demo for the job, option is the window option, vinyl. So you can create as many as you want to. Then when you start creating the next task, you can come in here and say, no, now we're ready to do wood. And you go over here again. Now you start entering it in, and the wood is what gets incorporated with the task. So all those things automatically get pre-filled in as you're doing the estimate. You just got to remember that you need to change the area and your job and your options as you're putting in each one of the tasks. And it's not that big deal if you went up there and you had the wrong task. I'm gonna let's say, for example, that I went in here and I did window vinyl double hung, and it should have been vinyl instead of wood. Not that big a deal. I want to do another one here so we can see what we got going here. We'll go demo, remove and install siding for flash, and I'm just using these right now for purposes of demonstration. But you can come through here and you can say, you know what, I want to lock that, and I'll show you how to lock that in a few minutes. But if you want these, that one there is now wood, that is actually vinyl. And if you pull down the menu, there's nothing there, but you can just start typing it. And now if you come back over here and look, when you pull the drop down option menu, you have vinyl and wood in there, so it already pre-fills the options, so you can either add new or you can use what's existing and just retype it over. So it keeps track of everything. It's pretty slick, and I'll give you some more information of how to set this thing up so the headers don't move, and we'll make like a stop point right here, so that way when you scroll over or the other side of the screen, you continue to see that. And I want to do that a little bit, explain that to you, so that way you can set it up on your own to make it personal for you. But that is the basics behind the estimating side of the house and how this page is set up. Press the buttons, play with these, enter in some tasks, change this, and then we'll show you how to sort in the future, how to get the information that you're looking for. But for right now, that's the BOSStimator and the key elements of it, and we'll discuss all the other options that are available for the BOSStimator. Take a look, have a question, call the boss.